Alright, what is up, guys? We're gonna try this one more time. I've been having some technical difficulties trying to put this together. Anyway, so yeah, I decided to give it a shot, raising the dragons, and figured if I was gonna do one, I might as well do a couple. So I did one of each type, and luckily the lightning that I did, I got really lucky and found a 185 egg when I did that. Uh, so I mean, at least there was one good one. The other two, I would say, probably should have got some better eggs, but I figured, what the hell, why not? I was gonna definitely do the 185 anyway. So I built this trap right here to get all the milk that I needed, and it actually worked pretty good. I was pretty surprised how good it worked. I did have a couple times where maybe like one or two of them would escape out of the top, but I've added a few pieces randomly to the top sense to kind of patch it in to make sure they stay. So that's worked out pretty good. And the only other issues I've had around here was I did have a death worm come up and destroy my generator down there the one day, but um, fairly easy to replace. So right here, I actually, when I came back, the video had already stopped recording, and the egg had already hatched. And this guy, he actually was underneath my house, I guess, because the house wasn't actually rendered in when I was away. So that was super scary. I about lost the 185 dragon right from the start. But luckily their food starts off fairly well too. It's roughly about 3 hours, two to 3 hours before I had to even get the first bit of milk. So that was definitely nice. And I think the first, oh, yep, and there we go. The poison just hatched. Jeez, look how cute that guy is. So awesome how they look. And they're gonna get so much bigger too. So that was one thing I definitely wound up having to do too while doing this, was actually just expanding the building, because and you'll see through the video as I kind of speed through this. Really, it's like 10-minute video, but it truly took the 4 days and 1 hour, as insane as that could be, right? Um, but maybe they'll change that at some point, so it could be down to about a weekend of time. I think weekend of time is a lot better. And you can see as it's cruising along here pretty fast, the size of the dragons is they're getting pretty big pretty quick. And the poison, he was level 60, so that worked out pretty cool. There we go. And yeah, so I mean level 60 on the poison, and the fire. I wound up actually, I let one of my friends imprint. He came over a few times and helped with milk, I think once or twice, but the majority, like 99% of the raising was done with me doing most of the stuff. I guess I couldn't imprint his dragon though, so it wound up with the lowest imprint. I think he did get it up to like 30 just from coming over randomly and like taking it for little walks and cuddles and stuff like that. And then if I had a milk or whatever extra when it needed it at that time. But I do think after a while too, man, these guys just got so big that it got to be like basically ripping apart huge sections of walls to really get them out. And you can see, I'm not really sure, if you can really see too well now back there, how big they are right now. But over the next few minutes, you'll see them just like super size in this room just becomes like so hard to navigate through. You have to just basically kind of dodge tails and stuff to make it through. But you know, like I said, one nice thing about it was just the way the food was so slow to go down for these guys. I mean, you definitely have plenty of time to get them the milk. I think the first like 2 days was kind of like a nightmare to do, just because, well, number one, I was pretty new to it, and two, um, you know, it did take a little bit of practice. Although I will say, uh, during milk runs, I had no birds die on me, and the pteranodons that I used, I got, ooh, I would say, you know, roughly like level 100s or so around there, and brought them over, and I just boosted all their stats into the speed and stamina and health. So I did have a couple close calls where some of the birds got cooked a bit, or you know, zapped by some lightning, but we still managed to get the milk out, and it was definitely fun to do. I feel like it's a good adrenaline rush when you get one of those dragons chasing right behind you. So much that honestly I forgot to mostly press record during my milk runs. So you won't really see me get milk in this video. It's mostly just me feeding them and you seeing, you know, their growth and stuff like that. And their stats, I guess, is pretty cool to see. You know, especially when you do the milk for the imprint, I definitely think there's like a stat boost that happened every time. And I did believe the poison. I wound up getting him to, ooh, I think it was roughly like 60%. It's because like right here, it was fairly easy to get him out and walk him in the yard. Which honestly, I was afraid to do at first too, just because I mean, I kind of thought they might fly away or something. What the fuck, you know? But luckily, they just stick on the ground, and so kind of a pain to get back into that door. And at one point, I had a problem where it was just kind of like they're starting to get too big to even get back through the door. So that's when you know, yeah, you can see they're starting to definitely get big now. And so I wind up ripping a huge hole through the wall to get them in and out a few times. And after a couple times, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just leave the imprint where it's at you know, 60 or whatever it winds up being. And on the 185 Lightning though, I do get his imprint up to, I think it's like 89 or 93, something like that. I guess we'll see probably closer to the end. You can see I got the milk there with the preserved salt. So like I said, if you definitely want to see some more videos about like trapping the wyverns and getting the milk, let me know. Like, subscribe. You know, I can make some videos for that. I actually find it super fun. Or if you know, even maybe you need help getting milk or something, just message me on the PlayStation. I'd be able to come help you if you need or something. It's I kind of find it fun, and it's not really too bad to do. The hardest part, like I said, was just the time involvement, because I do work, and so trying to find time. I actually wound up taking a day off for Monday, just the third day. I suppose it was, just to try to make sure that everything was going to be good with the milk. By the fourth day, though, you know, early in the morning, I did a milk run, and then I do another at lunchtime. I live not far from my job, so I was able to come home and do a quick run. It only took me probably 10 minutes to do. And, you know, then I don't think I had to feed them again after that on the last day. I'm pretty sure by this point, like, they're starting to, you know, their food's really high up, and I think, like, he was already done at this point now, so I just gave him meat, and I started grabbing stuff to transfer over to the other server that I usually play on. And there's my friend here to collect his dragon, the one that I gave him, the fire. And I think he was also going to run around and try to get himself a moth, which I do believe he did get, actually. So I think it was right over here we knocked it out. And after that, I just kind of went on my own, did my thing while he was getting this moth here. But you'll see, luckily it got stuck into this wall, so it made it a whole lot easier for him to wind up knocking it out. And I had a arrow on me, so I just helped put one in it. And he came crashing down. I actually still don't own one of those moths, so I want to get one sometime soon. But I guess I was so caught up in the whole dragon thing that I just focused so much on like building the building to do the dragons in, and then get the milk and everything, and get these guys all taken care of. And you can see now that that was the last dragon actually to finish right there. So and the fire was only level 55. Kind of a shame. I think next time though I would definitely level 1